She called me a failure at 35. Then my 5-year-old walked in. They never thought I'd make it. Not once, not ever. I was the difficult daughter, the emotional one, the one they whispered about across dinner tables and smiled at through clenched teeth. So the day I turned 18, I left. No drama, no tears, just gone. And though I kept in touch over the years, out of some ridiculous loyalty, deep down, I always knew they were waiting for me to fail. But what they didn't know, I'd already won. It was a summer barbecue, a family-only affair. The kind where passive aggression sizzles louder than the grill. I hadn't been home in 2 years. They barely noticed. Until my mother saw me. She raised her glass and smirked. Voice loud enough to hush the chatter. There she is. 35 and still single, no kids, no legacy. But hey, at least you're well rested, right? Laughter. Eyes on me. Heat rising in my throat. I smiled and said nothing, because I didn't have to. A few minutes later, a small voice called from behind her. Mom, can I have another juice box? She turned, froze, paled. My son, 5 years old, curly hair, sharp eyes just like mine, was standing beside my husband, holding his hand. Both dressed for the occasion. Calm, present, real. My husband nodded politely. Hi, I'm James, I've heard. Something's about you. My mom blinked like she'd seen a ghost. My cousin's drink slipped from her hand. My dad sat down like the wind had been knocked out of him. I looked at her dead in the eye. You never asked about my life. You just filled in the blanks with your bitterness. You see, I hadn't hidden them out of spite. I'd built my life in silence. A thriving business in ecotech. A townhouse in Amsterdam. A family that was everything they never were. Kind, supportive, whole. I didn't need them to know. But now, I needed them to watch. That day, I didn't argue. I didn't explain. I let my son do what I never could. Exist in their presence. Unapologetically loved. And before we left, I handed my mother a small envelope. Inside, a printout of a Forbes article featuring me as one of Europe's top 30 innovators under 35, with my son on my hip and my wedding band shining under the sun. She looked up, trembling. I leaned in and whispered, next time you want to mock someone's life, make sure you know what they've actually lived. 2 weeks later, my brother called. Turns out, my parents had planned to ask me for a loan to help the family business. They assumed I was broke, unmarried, alone. But the business? I already owned 40% of it, quietly bought through a third party. When they failed to pay their debts, I acquired their shares. And then, I fired them. Their daughter, the one they said would amount to nothing, was now their replacement. Subscribe now for more stories where the underdogs rise. The forgotten fight back, and revenge isn't just served. It's plated in gold.